Very pleased. This interview, there's a lot here. I was just saying that off air to Frank D'Angelo and Jamie Lees. Frank is the publisher. Jamie Lees, she is the writer, designer, producer at JANK Words and Pictures. You can check them out, www.jank.ca. They're here to talk about Synopsis, their new role-playing game today. There's cards, there's pictures, there's a whole lot of stuff. We're going to hear it straight from them. First of all, hello, both of you. How you doing today?
Great. Hello.
Hi.
Glad to be here.
Let's talk about JANK. You both, did you both come up with this at first, or was it one of you?
We worked on this simultaneously, how we came up with the name. It's Jamie, Frank. If you see the call letters on our website, the two names collide and it creates JANK.
It's beautiful. It's perfect. Perfect name. I love it.
We've come together through life and work.
How many years now have you had JANK going?
I think since 2017, the kind of work that Frank and I do, we've always had a side hustle while we worked full-time jobs. So we officially opened the business JANK Words and Pictures in 2017.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're both technically graphic designers, advertising, marketing, that kind of thing.
Very nice, very nice. So since 2017, kind of a side hustle, now it's taken off. You got a copy right here of Synopsis with us. Let's talk about this. So it's not out yet. Do you have a launch?
It's out on Kickstarter.
On Kickstarter, yeah.
.com. Kickstarter's a funding platform for inventors, illustrators, you name it, anything you're trying to come up with.
Creators.
Creators, content creators, and on the website, you have the opportunity to create your story, present what it is that you have, and then people can come on the site and pledge. Mm-hmm. A pledge is
a pre-order.
A pre-order, basically, and you have a determined amount that you need to bring your creation to life. So if you hit the mark within, say, 30 days, and we have 12 days to go.
But you're over halfway, which is good.
Over halfway, and it had an amazing start, right off the bat. We were looking at it, we launched it, and then it just started like that. So it was great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Did I read, too, that people that pledge, there's 4 spots remaining, their face can go on a card as well?
Yeah, those 4 spots have been taken.
They've been taken. They're gone.
You get your face and your name on the back.
Very nice.
Which on the back of the box shows how the game's played, a quick version of it. So those went...
It was funny because we set this up as one of the pledges, and so it was $250 to pledge to have your name and face on the back of the box, and Frank was thinking that wasn't going to work. He's like, no one's going to pledge $250. Well, that was the first 2 pledges. We got 2 right off the bat.
You'd be surprised. People love good games.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And there's serious gamers that want to help bring our story to life, which is really cool. So, we even got people who pledged money with no reward. A reward is basically you get a game.
Yeah.
Like
it's
that.
Just like
so
a donation, basically.
Very pleasantly surprised. It's a great platform. So, that's where they can find us right now. And then after the 30 days, we bring it out, and it'll be available in stores.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I've never played this one game. I'm sure you've heard of it. Dungeons and Dragons, role-playing game, whatnot. You create your own story and whatnot, and that's I'm reading. Obviously, there's cards and pictures involved, but you create your own stories like this. Synopsis. I've never heard of this. Where did you get the idea from?
Well, my dad was an incredible storyteller, and our site is all about storytelling and graphic novels, books. I do have a bit of a history with game design. Oh. I think it was in the early 90s, I designed a children's game, Monkey See, Monkey Do, for a Canadian game company. And like other people, I got absorbed into that whole gaming culture with Trivial Pursuit, Boulder Dash. And when I saw those games and being a designer, I thought, because whenever I play games, I'm always trying to reinvent the bloody game. And it's like, it should be played like this. Nobody likes playing games with me. So I just came up with my own and based on storytelling. come from a line of storytellers, I guess.
And you sold that game to Canada Games.
Canada Games did purchase the game that was pitched to them. Yeah, so it was sold. It was on the market for a couple years.
Monkey
that kind
see,
of thing.
monkey do.
And then it changed, electronics, internet.
Yeah.
And but what I noticed was, I think 2020 when pandemic comes on, board games went through the roof. People were confined and couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing in terms of bringing people together.
Yeah.
But what Synopsis does, I think the best thing that it does is it creates conversations, stories. It connects people. This would be great in schools. It'd be great in senior homes. It'd be great in your own living room playing with your friends.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because the best thing to do is when you start playing it. What I noticed is when we tested it, because we did a really good cross testing of different people, different ages. It just seems to bring out your own personality. If you're funny, you're a little more dramatic. It just comes out naturally in the gameplay, like that. And there's slight, competitiveness to it. We have the thumbs up, the thumbs down. So after your portion of the well, let's start with how the game's played. Oh.
What I was going to ask, for people who, obviously, we don't really know a lot about Synopsis out there, all the listeners, we're very excited about it. I know I am. I want to get a box because it looks fun. Is this a game that you can pick up where the story left off, or is it done completely, start all over again?
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, the whole object of the game is to utilize one of the element cards. An element card is a prompt, a story prompt. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Yeah.
So there's 4 categories. There's mystery, romance, fairy tales, and situations. So whoever goes first will pick one category. So let's just say it's mystery. And everybody gets 5 cards, 5 element cards. So if we're playing in the history category, you get your first card. So if I go first, we're in the history or mystery category. I will start a story. I have 2 minutes, and I'll tell a story based on one of the element cards in my hand. Right? So I'll start talking. It was midnight, walking down the street, started to rain. I'd never been in this part of town. I started running out of gas. All of a sudden, I see a lonely hitchhiker. That's my element card. I have to end with that. So I show everybody a lonely hitchhiker, and I put it face down in front of me. The next person has to continue that same story, and they'll end their portion of the story with one of the element cards in their hand.
So, for example, I could say that, I saw that hitchhiker too at some point, but I can't remember. Something like that.
And that's your card.
And that's my card.
Can't remember.
Yes.
But before you were to start that, everybody quickly grabs their rating cards and gives a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
It gets voted on.
Now, my portion of the story at the beginning there, I thought it sucked. I would have given myself a thumbs down.
I think I gave myself a thumbs down, too. I don't think I did a very good job with can't remember.
And this is where the interaction, the other part of the interaction of the game comes. It's fun to rate everybody's story. And in the rules, we have 3 major points to sort of keep you on track and go, did it keep my interest? Was it connected? Was it a good ongoing story? That kind of thing. And when you put it down, if you can't remember, or if you get an unanimous 3 thumbs down, because it's typically 4 people playing at once. So if you get a unanimous thumbs down, you have to pick up a card off the deck in the middle. If it's mixed, a couple of thumbs up, thumbs down, it just goes to the next person automatically. If it's totally thumbs up, you keep going. So the first person who runs out of element cards in their hand wins.
Oh, there you go. So you needed a unanimous vote to keep going.
Yeah, so if you do pick up a card and you happen to get a recall card, this adds more game action, where a recall card, you have to recall other players' element cards that they might have used and picked up when they have them in front of them. So you better pay attention.
Yeah, you need to have good memory, and you also, I know they kind of give you, or you kind of give people the options there, whatnot, the element cards as you call them, but you also need to kind of be quick thinking, right, to come up with, okay, yeah, the hitchhiker thing, you pulled that one out of nowhere. Oh yeah, it was late at night, I'd never been in this part of town, and I saw a hitchhiker. So you need to be quick thinking too, what can I use for a hitchhiker, for a story.
Yeah, and then and the more relaxed you get, we've seen when we were testing it, some stories were, really just huge and people laughing, and it was really great. Some wanted to keep going, and it's like, you got 2 minutes, come on, 2 minutes, like that. Some people were just extending whatever and had a great time.
Yeah, it was interesting when we beta tested it. We had a day where we had 5 or 6 groups in, and they played the game, and we just left them in the room with the game and the rules so that they could figure it out and find their way through the game. And there were people that said, I'm more of an introvert. I don't really think quickly. I like to ponder before I, and it was amazing how, and I happen to be one of those type of people, but it's amazing once you get with other people and you get a little relaxed and the stories start and you just can't help but tag on to that story and keep it going, even though that might be, a little, you might be a little nervous or whatever, but it's really easy
that
when
quickly dissipates.
Yeah, it quickly dissipates.
By the time you get around to playing the first card, you really start getting into an interesting story, right? And then everybody's really into it and wants to keep it going and growing like that. So that's the cool part of the game. It can go quick, it can go slow. We just seen different, in the beta testing, different levels of how they were playing. But the biggest thing we noticed, because we'd come by, put our ear on the door, because when we first did it, we just set the box on the middle of the table, let them open it, read the rules. We didn't interfere. That went very smoothly, so everybody understood how to play it, and then the laughter after that. So it was really, really fun to test it.
Yeah, and then after we had a survey that they filled out, and we sat with the groups for 30 minutes and fielded questions and things like that. But, it's interesting. The one thing that we saw in every single group was that they all played it differently. Even though they had the rules, they put their own twist on it. And that was really great. We loved that. And I mean, people do that with games anyway. They
and storytelling. Yeah, it's like, somebody tells a joke and somebody else tells it a little bit differently or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
The interaction, though, was the most interesting thing. It didn't matter the age. Because we had some groups at, my age, early 20s, whatever, and it just went smoothly. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Storytelling, there are no boundaries, right? So that's perfect for the game.
Yeah, I just want to say, it's not necessarily like role playing. It's storytelling, right?
Yeah.
It's the true essence of, it started off here, I ended up over there, I got lost here. What'd you do then? That kind of thing. It just, grows from there.
Yeah. And speaking of players, how many is the minimum and the maximum that can play this?
The maximum, I would say, is 9, because there's 9 sets of thumbs up, thumbs down. So 9. It's best played with, I think, maybe 4 people.
But two can be fun,
but
too.
two can play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... Yeah, I guess the minimum would be 2 to 9, yeah.
Go by faster, right, with
It would
2?
go by faster. And I would say it's ages... We didn't actually test it with anybody.
Probably 7 or 8. I mean...
Yeah, I guess it would be measured by their comprehension of, one of the story prompts on the card.
Yeah.
Like that, really. So it could be 10.
Yeah, and I think, we have a few friends that are teachers that really love this idea of the game because it gets kids away from screens. And, a lot of children are having some challenges communicating with each other.
Yeah.
And this just helps them do that and tell a story and imagine using their own imagination as opposed to looking at something online or so... Yeah, I mean, we've got some really good feedback from teachers, and we are going to take it into the school system, and
because it helps them interact, right? And it helps them pay attention because of the recall aspect of it, and then it also helps them to really, paybacks. Because if you're rating somebody else's story, they're going to rate you back, right? So there's that little bit of competitive fun really
Yeah,
competitive nature and rating somebody else's
And also
story.
strategy too, teaching, well, everyone. I mean, there's strategy in the game because you may like someone's story, but you see they only have one card in their hand. So you're going to give them a thumbs down. So,
Because you want to win. You want to be the supreme all-time storyteller.
yeah.
It's not very often that you hear of people coming up with like a new game, especially a board game. I think that's fantastic. And then, storytelling as well. You don't hear of those too much anymore, which I love. You're bringing back a twist on that. Did either of you want to be like an author at some point? The way you're able to tell stories, you're putting it into a game?
Glad you asked. Yeah, our next project's going to be our
way.
graphic novel.
No way.
It's called Blood-Sucking Lawyers.
I didn't even hear about this. This was just something I'm like,
Seriously?
well, with a creative imagination like you both have, you have had to have wanted to been an author at some point.
Yeah, it's kind of, we're going to launch it, I believe, well, we're announcing it right here. I think it's going to be March 1st. We're going to,
Really?
could be April. Better ask Jamie on that one. But
We'll see.
stay
Wow.
tuned to check our website. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to launch that next, Blood-Sucking Lawyers. It's a parody on the legal system.
Okay.
It's a vampire firm. That's what the graphic novel's about. And they get involved in a class action lawsuit with a hemophiliac because the vampires want to take control of the hospital, and they're all lawyers. So it all takes place in this hospital and, of course, in the courtroom. So
Yeah, and you can see
That'll be
some
next.
of, we've revealed some of the pages and so forth on our website. So you can see some of the pages from the graphic novel there.
Hey, I love anything to do with vampires. I got to go see Nosferatu, the remake. It's out right now.
Yes.
So, this is right up my
Gary
alley.
Oldman, though, is still the best vampire.
You know what? He was great as Dracula
crossed
in Bram Stoker's.
Oceans of time. I just love that one.
In Bram Stoker's Dracula, yeah.
Isn't that great?
It's too bad my girlfriend hasn't finished that movie with me yet because she's too scared of it.
No.
I know. I'm
Really?
thinking. I know. I think the scene that freaked her out was when Keanu Reeves was shaving and nicked himself.
Oh, what a
and-
great, yeah,
and
yeah.
He come and yeah.
Yeah,
But-
he's one of my favorite actors. I just love that movie.
But anyways, yeah, I love Gary Oldman too. But anyways, wow, this is awesome. This is great that we have this right here in Amherstburg. Thank you so much. Two creative minds right here. We'll be on the lookout for the novel as well. Blood-Sucking
Lawyers.
That's it. Blood-Sucking Lawyers. So that's sometime March, April. We'll see. Follow along. JANK, you're on Facebook as well. JANK Words and Pictures. Go to www.jank.ca to see all about this game as well and their Kickstarter. Frank, Jamie, thank you so much for bringing I guess if you want to call it
It's a prototype.
it's a prototype, or I was going to say first copy. Prototype's even better.
Yeah, that's the first copy that's exactly what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Quality-wise, beautiful cards.
Of Synopsis in, and we got to kind of toy around with it a little bit and, explaining to everybody out there. Thank you for doing this, taking the time to come in. We can't wait to see it on store shelves.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.